So yeah, whilst me and my son are having a little walk through the park, I thought I'd carry on with what we were talking about. Right, so in that last video, the last couple of videos, the first one was about sonic luminescence, which is basically when sound actually creates light in a bubble of water. Oh, are you going down the slide? Go on then. The second one was sonic geometry, or the resonant frequencies of shapes, basically. Geometry. It's a little known fact that when Pythagoras wrote the Euclid, he was a musician, he wasn't a mathematician, he was a musician, trying to find a new way of making music. He was also the father of the musical scale, and well, the rest is history. So, have I ever shown you a video about sound creating light? Well, when you actually think back and think about it, it's actually a very profound thought. As I've already mentioned, every single ancient religion, the creation myths start off with a sound, or a song, or a word that's spoken. It creates all life and everything else in the universe around us. Well, what else does it tell us? What, lad? Well, go on then. Keep going. Well, I think of things this way. Alright. What?
To the woods?
Yeah, if you want, yeah. Which way are you going? That way, that way?
That way.
Alright, go that way. Right. We're going around there. I thought we were going to the woods, lad. Huh?
The woods?
The woods? Yeah, well, that's where you said you wanted to go, weren't you? Yeah? Yeah, well, you can watch the woods. Anyway. I've had a theory about space in general. At the moment, scientifically, it's supposed to be a vacuum. But as most flat earthers will tell you, and I'm not one of them, alright, before you start jumping down my throat, I'm not a flat earther. But I do see the point with a few things. Mainly, in order for a gas to be sort of still attached to the earth as a globe, the gas needs to be pressing against something to keep it in one place. As soon as you create a hole or have a vacuum, all the gas escapes, and that is a scientific fact. No disputing that. Well, it's something that I've thought about for a long time after hearing many years ago. What? It's not scary, it's not even dark yet, lads. Something certain. Look at. Is that scary to you? No. Anyway. Are you scared? Oh, don't be scared, lad, it's alright. Anyway. No, I'm alright, I'm quite happy, thank you very much. Anyway. Where was I? Oh yeah. Many years ago, there was an incident in space. Basically on a routine spacewalk, I think they were fixing a little telescope or something like that. An astronaut actually got a hole in his spacesuit and drowned. Now, most people would say so, but he's in space, supposedly, right? Now, most conspiracy theorists, some of them, especially the flat earthers, think space is fake, right? No offence, guys, but you're fucking idiots, yeah? Right? Space does exist, it's just not what we actually are led to believe it is. There's plenty of videos as well, NASA videos, showing bubbles rising up all over the place, yeah? Many astronauts talk about creatures you can see flying about everywhere, yeah? If it was a vacuum, nothing would be able to live. So, that got me thinking, what if space is an ocean? An ocean of water? It's already been proven. It's already been proven by NASA themselves and Harvard and a few other universities that water is very, very, very prevalent
Dad,
in the universe.
I'll go that way.
Okay, go that way then. It's an extremely, extremely abundant element. Far more abundant than we actually thought. I mean, there's stars, for God's sake, that are fountains of water. Stars with water? What? So, if you think of space as a vast ocean, right? All of a sudden, let there be light takes on a whole new different meaning, doesn't it? After watching that sonoluminescence video, eh? It's food for thought, you know what I mean? Someone else who's really, really a good source to get that sort of idea from is a guy called Michael Challenger.
Forest?
Yeah, it's a forest, yeah. Well, it's a woods, it's not a forest. He's, I followed him for a long while. The guy's got quite a lot of somewhat outlandish ideas, but I can kind of see where he's coming from in quite a lot of ways. Probably think pretty alike. He floats more towards the Anunnaki sort of thing, than being an alien sort of force. Well, let's just segue a minute here, right? Let's just sidetrack ourselves for a little bit. Aliens in general, right? These greys, people getting abducted, blah 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 blah. I don't think they're physical. I don't think they're a physical phenomenon whatsoever. There's a UFO researcher, Jack Vallée. Most of you know who he is. He was of the mind that definitely some sort of interdimensional thing going on there, rather than an actual physical sort of alien race. What, lad?
What are you doing?
I'm talking to somebody. Yeah? Anyway. Where was that? Oh yeah, Jack Vallée. He thought they were an interdimensional sort of thing. Spiritual kind of thing. You're going to say hello to YouTube people?
Hi, YouTube people.
There we go. That's William, my son. Anyway. Back to my point. Where was I? Oh yeah. Jack Vallée's one. Another one. John Mack. John Mack was starting to get to that same sort of stage as Jack Vallée.
And Stumpy Longhead.
I don't know if any of you lot know who Stampy Longhead is. He's a Minecraft YouTuber. Anyway. Sorry for the quick endorsement there. I don't really watch the guy, sorry mate. But my son does, he loves him to bits. Anyway, yeah, so John Mack. He was Harvard's, I think he was basically the head of faculty for psychology at Harvard University. Up until when he died in, I think it was 1998. He was mysteriously run over by a drunk driver.
Dad, I'll talk to them. Stumpy, we're in the dangerous woods.
Anyway, John Mack, it was probably one of the few very sort of, how can I put it? He was one of the only big people in academia, in mainstream academia, that actually would sort of entertain the notion of
Stampy,
alien abductions.
Hey, Dad,
What?
Stampy.
Yeah, never mind Stampy. Just talking to people. What? Yeah,
Can I
anyway.
talk to YouTube people?
No, not a minute. I'm sort of telling some people stuff. Well, you go for a run anyway.
Hey.
So it's the only thing when you bring kids out, you're trying to do a YouTube video. Anyway, as I was saying, John Mack was the only one that had entertained the notion of alien abduction. He was under the mind at first that it was all completely psychological. It was something he was going to easily debunk, easily basically prove that it was all a product of people's minds. But the more he looked into it, the more cases he got, the deeper he went, he started to realise that no, this is real. This is really happening to people, and on an epidemic scale. There's I think it was a statistic about during the, I think it was 1998, 1999, or maybe like 2000, and he basically said that 3% of all Americans, all people in the USA, 3%, right? 3% have had some sort of alien abduction experience. That's over 3 million people. So what the f is going on? Eh? Britain, Europe, everywhere, it's all the same. It's all the same. Most people probably don't even realise they've been abducted. Fuck, I could have been abducted, you know what I mean? And I just wouldn't even know about it. I have had some weird experiences, but that's more with the paranormal. Go.
YouTube people.
Just say hello again, yeah? Say hello.
Hello, Stampy.
No, Stampy, just say hello. Say, who are
Hello,
you?
YouTube people. Stampy, very squared.
As I said, Stampy fan. Anyway, so yeah, we've gone off topic there. I mean, my experiences, like I said, they were very paranormal. But again, that's a subject for another video. The next video after that you've just watched as well was, like I said, Sonic Geometry. And the reason why I put that on there is because if you think of symbols as having frequency of their own, and everywhere you see symbols and that, it always has an effect on your body, has an effect on your mind, your psychology, your psyche. And this is through basically all shapes, any shapes, anything you see has a resonant frequency, and it affects you in some way, shape or form. Most of the time on a very subtle level that you don't even realise. And this is why certain companies use certain symbols and certain logos and stuff like that to invoke a certain resonant frequency within you. It's an extremely finely detailed level of control that they have over us. It's on an unbelievable scale that people don't even realise this stuff.
I talked to YouTube people again.
Go and play for a minute. Shall I leave me to finish my video, eh? I need to get his own YouTube channel, I think. Anyway, so yeah, this is the way the powers that be, so to speak, control us is just astounding. When you start actually getting into it, start looking into it. I mean, before I did this, I didn't even have a clue. You know what I mean? Especially when you get into the esoteric sort of things and the occult kind of things, and the way that religions work, the way that government actually works, the way that the money system works, for God's sake, it's all just completely trained to bring us down and make us feel crap and trap us. And these people are evil bastards, I'm telling you. I mean, I could go on about this all day, but it was one of the main focuses of why I started writing Legion Saga in the first place. One, to expose a lot of this stuff, but in a way that everybody would be able to understand and have fun with, you know what I mean? But on a sort of subconscious level, they start to learn little bits and bats of how they use the same sort of stuff that I'm using in my book against us. But I'm using it for good, in a way, you know what I mean? Anyone who reads it will be blown away, I know they will, because people who have read it, and it's just the rough edits, the rough versions of it, have been absolutely blown away, and it makes me feel fucking proud, you know what I mean? But it's just finding a publisher, which is a nightmare. So yeah, we've got symbology, the symbols, logos that you use. Chemtrails, another one. Forget what mainstream media tells you. Chemtrails do exist. And the chemicals that they use are just disgusting, really are. As to why they're doing it, that's a matter of opinion. But yeah, go on then, go across that bridge if you want.
That's a big word.
It's a thin one, but yeah, it's alright, it's perfectly safe. So yeah, the chemicals that they use, most of it is aluminium, strontium, barium. Strontium and barium are actually radioactive. They're actually the waste products of radioactive materials. Aluminium in particulate form is devastating, not just to people when you breathe it, ingest it, absorb it through the skin, but also the environment as well. Now, like I said, there's various reasons why they could be doing this. One of them is that this whole climate change deal, it's not working out for them. It started off as a scam anyway. Don't get me wrong, all right? Climate change is a reality, but not in the way that they portray it. It's not carbon that's doing this. It's never been carbon. Carbon is just an excuse to fucking drain us of a cash. What's happening is our position in the galaxy at the moment. We're still very close to the galactic equator. This is having devastating, huge, titanic sort of gravitational, cosmic radiation, effects on our solar system that we've never witnessed before and can't understand fully because our physics is wrong. Again, another video for another time. But because of this, it's having a huge detrimental effect on our solar system as a whole. Not a lot of people know this, but the whole solar system's heating up. Not just the Earth. Mars, Neptune, Jupiter, everywhere is having a huge, just titanic forces on the planet. There's great, huge, massive storms just brewing on the outer planets, Uranus and Neptune, that we've never seen before and can't explain. Jupiter the red spot is disappearing. Yeah, it's been slowly going down. So very soon it's going to gone. Yeah, Saturn's a black. Saturn's a really sort of strange planet. What? You want to go back home? Yeah, it's getting dark.
No.
What? Just don't go on about Stampede. Just say hello. Eh?
Hello, YouTubers. We're stuck in a horrifying woods. Hurry!
I think it's going to be an accident when you go over it, I'll tell you. Watch this space, yeah? Hollywood, here we come. Anyway. Saturn. Little small sort of tidbit of history about Saturn. At one time, the ancients called it Black Sun, the Black Sun. It was actually visible far closer, I think, than it was. Well, than it is now. I don't know if any of you lot have heard of a guy called Emmanuel Velikovsky. He's got an electromagnetic theory about how the universe works, and he's bang on pretty much most of the time, more so than actual mainstream science and the gravitational theories that we've got. It also works really well with the hypothesis that space is water. Both of them work in tandem incredibly well. But anyway, like I said, Saturn. What? Right, well.
What's up, Chichivas?
Oh. I don't know what. Who are these people? Right, well, I'm just breaking my train of thought here. Right, I'll tell you what. This has probably been a long enough video anyway. I've ranted on enough. I'm trying to get as much information out as I can in one go. When really I should break this down, but as a first video, I'll leave it there, I think. Homework for you lot, alright? I want you to, Will.
What's that funny little cakes?
Okay. I want you to hunt out a few lectures from some certain people. One of them, Michael Challenger. Watch anything that guy's got to say.
Daddy.
Especially more his later stuff at the minute. No, well, you're breaking my train of thought, lad. Alright, sorry. Right? Yeah, so Michael Challenger. That's one guy whose lectures you really want to look at. Another guy is... okay, most people are going to turn around and go, oh, you know, boom, face palm. But this guy, he gets a lot of flack, and in actual fact, he's pretty much bob on with everything. That's David Icke. I wouldn't believe entirely everything he says, like he says himself. I'd attest myself, like, you know what I mean? Everything that you hear from my mouth, go and look at it yourself, because it's the only way you're going to learn anything, is by finding it yourself, looking at it yourself. But yeah, David Icke, especially more to do with Saturn stuff, definitely. Another guy's Wal Thornhill. That guy is just brilliant. The Thunderbolts Project. He's another good one to actually have a look at. His electromagnetic theories on the universe and how it works. He breaks everything down. Shows his version of the theory.
Daddy,
In a minute, yeah, alongside the mainstream science version of the theory, and shows how mainstream isn't working and his works perfect, bob on every time. we have science wrong, we have physics wrong, we have the whole universe works out wrong. Yeah, there's a reason why the Bible says, as above, so below. They should both work in tandem, and we can't get quantum physics and basically macro physics. You know, the physics of huge things like planets and stuff like that. We can't get the two to coincide, to conjoin, and there's a reason for that, because it's all wrong, all completely wrong. Quantum physics side does work and actually breaks into electromagnetic theory. It's just that they won't scale it up. Boom. God knows why. Well, I've got an idea why, but like I said, I'll share that for another video. So yeah, Wallthorn Hill, Michael Challenger. Come on, we're going to go on and get some tea, lad. Yeah. Wallthorn Hill, Michael Challenger, David Icke. Three good ones to have a watch of, right? Because my next video, I'll go into Saturn a lot more deeply. I may touch a little bit more on the deep state. There's a lot on that I could tell you. Oh, God, the amount of stuff I've learned over the years is just astonishing. I've been doing this for over 30 years now. Believe it or not, since I was 12 years old. Looking into everything. I mean, absolutely everything. So I'll just give you a bit of background. In fact, I was telling you about at one point. Sorry, tangent. Anyway, I started off looking into all this stuff and developed the story for Legion Saga. I wrote the ending first. That was the first thing I ever wrote, and it was after. No, I don't advocate the use of drugs, kids. All right, but it was after having go on then. After having an especially harrowing experience on LSD. Horrible. I made the mistake of taking one on my own, thinking I could handle it on my own. Watching Friday the 13th Part 8 on my own. Terrible movie. Not good when you're tripping. Not good when you're tripping. But yeah, the come down off it was amazing. The actual effects when they were peaking, oh shit. Most people know Hellraiser, yeah. The fish huts coming from the ceiling. I was seeing them coming from the ceiling, coming to get me. I kept seeing a guy in my porch, dark, poof, suit, everything, waiting for me. I fucking shit myself. But come down on it was amazing. It was more relief than anything else. But whilst on that come down, I started having a strange sort of cycle of thought. Why is the devil called the Prince of Darkness? Why isn't he King of Darkness? Yeah? Who's the king? It's a good thought, right? It's a bit weird. But then it got me thinking, on top of that, what if Jesus, right, wasn't the Son of God? Right? Don't like start throwing blooming insults at me, Christians, alright? This is a perfectly valid point, alright? Valid way of thinking, and I'm not bashing Christianity, right? The fact that I don't believe in Jesus is one thing, yeah? I believe in God, yeah? I believe there is a God. Jesus, on the other hand, seen too many things, learnt too much about it to come to any other conclusion that Jesus is a fictional character. There may have been a guy called Jesus, but none of it's real. Sorry, but that's the way it is. The Bible's hijacked by the Romans, by an emperor called Flavius, which no one really sort of bats an eyelid at. Something else not taught in schools. Flavius was... What, Will? Yeah, well done. You're going down the slide. Go on then. What? Yeah, I'm coming down. I'm coming now. All right. But Flavius was the right emperor for the timeline that Jesus was supposedly around at. But then you've got to ask yourself as well, why did a completely militant, apocalyptic sort of religion, which was Judaism at the time, they were very militant, very militaristic, very anti-Roman, almost paramilitary in a way. Why did they suddenly go from that, like having just major doomsday sort of prophecies for around the same time? Why did they suddenly turn to a peace and love sort of, everyone is equal and, the divine is in you kind of thing? It was just suddenly, boom, in the blink of an eye. Yeah, one minute the militant as hell, next minute, bang. when you actually break it down and actually look into it, it was a lot of it was to do with Flavius. He developed the character to sort of subjugate the Judean people using a guy called Josephus, who every Christian across the globe will turn around and say he is the evidence for why Jesus existed, because he mentions him. The thing is that they don't really look into Josephus as a guy. He was kind of a stooge, a propagandist in a way. He was a bit like Joseph Goebbels. He was basically taking. He held an absolutely very high position in the Roman court under Flavius. Flavius, like, sort of, he treated him as a sort of equal sort of on an equal footing with himself. Treated him very well for a slave of a conquered people, which Josephus was. He was a Jew. And by rights, he shouldn't have been. He shouldn't have held such a high sort of standing in Rome. But because of the way that he went to the Judean people, the Jewish people, and twisted and altered, kind of, the way that the Jews were thinking, especially religiously, he wasn't a good guy. He wasn't a good guy. He was a bit of a turncoat, a bit of a bastard. So yeah, but he was the one that started spreading the message of Jesus. Another thing, but I didn't learn this until years after. It was only a few years ago. I knew there was something wrong. But anyway, back to what I was saying. The Garden of Gethsemane, after the Last Supper, Jesus does a very strange thing. He basically gives himself up to the Roman guard. Yeah, who were looking for him for some weird reason. Yeah, apparently so he could die for our sins and take out on our, basically just free us, supposedly. The thing is, the way we've got the New Testament, it misses a vital sort of piece of information. And that was the commonly held misconception that Judas was a bad guy. When you actually read Mary Magdalene's Gospel, or Thomas's Gospel, or even the Gospel of Judas himself, Judas held a very high position in the disciples. He was basically the only person that Jesus could trust, apparently. And he basically told Judas, I want you to go out and I want you to find the guards. I want you to bring them to me for the task that I'm here on earth for. And Judas was like, well, why? Because I know you'll do it unquestioningly. All the other ones won't do it. They'll chicken out. But you've got the conviction. You love me that much that you will go out and do this for me. And Judas did it unquestioningly. Went out. He understood why Jesus was doing it. He understood that he was going to be vilified for forever, basically, and still did it anyway. But this brings up another point when you get that information. So if Jesus did that, he knew he was going to die. Now, in our day and age, when someone does that, they bring the police round to the door, especially in America, they have a term for it, suicide by cop. Suicide at the end of the day. What's the difference? What's the difference between Jesus doing that and some Joe Public on a LA street somewhere, like pulling out a gun on a copper because he wants to die and getting the copper to kill him? Suicide by cop. It's still suicide. It's still intentional. You're intentionally killing yourself. And then more specifically in the Catholic tradition of Christianity, suicide is a mortal sin. You know what I mean? You're taking your own. You're basically rubbing God's nose, and you just absolutely destroying his one awesome gift that he's given you, which is life, your life. And he's took it. So I thought, well, what if Jesus wasn't the Son of God but the Son of the Devil? What would the world be like? weird thought, isn't it? Eh? I mean, think about Christianity in general. It's a fucking weird thing. You know what I mean? We worship, we pray to a cross, a guy on a cross. Yeah, the most abundantly, most horrific symbol of suffering you can ever see in your life. It's like, what? Yeah, torture, that's what it is. Not to mention that one of the main things that God said was, you shall not worship any other idol but me. What the... Hold on, but we're worshipping an idol. Okay, maybe supposedly his son. I don't think he was. Well, I think if he was, the devil's greatest trick wasn't convincing the world that it didn't exist. His greatest trick was convincing Jesus to take his own life. Mind blown, eh? Good. And that's where I was. Sat there in my front room, still properly sort of. Well,
You don't want to leave.
Come on then, we'll go then.
No,
Yeah, we're going to go home and get some tea. Well, yeah, no, I was.
Wait,
Still, what?
I'll go leave you in the woods.
Still hallucinating like crazy, but having these weird, profound, sort of strange thoughts running through my head. And you see, it was a weird situation to be in. I just had to write it down. But then all of a sudden, bump, I started thinking. And that's when the ending for Legion Saga. I'm not going to tell you what the ending is because that'll just ruin it for everyone. Needless to say that there are twists and turns and everything. If you know how to break the code, my code, and how to break things down, there are clues on every single page. Obvious ones that once you've read the whole series once, when you read it again, you'll start to see them all over the place. From page 1 onwards, very, very first page that you see when you open the book, boom. And this first book, the prologue, is the most important of all 10. Next to epilogue, which will be the last book. Why is it called prologue? Why is it called epilogue? Because each book is a chapter in the grand scheme of things, the grand story in general. Yeah. The next book, chapter 1, which is Under the Shadow of Legion's Wing. Yeah. And that will turn some heads. So the prologue, once I can find a publisher that will actually publish the thing. And it's not because it's badly written, before anyone says, yeah, but it's because you're a crap writer. Seriously. I've been weeks away from them printer, from print. Just mere weeks away from print. Boom, to pull out. Because there's stuff in that they don't want people to know. And I know people say self-publishing, but it's getting the cash to fucking self-publish, you know what I mean? It's the right thing. It's not cheap either. Especially when you want it to actually succeed. I want as many people as I can to see it, to read it, to see what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I think I've kept you all long enough. I've ranted on a lot, probably confused a lot of you, gone off on a load of tangents. But I had to get it. I had to get this out of my head. I had to get this onto video somehow. And at some point, and walking with my son seemed like a good time to do it. Anyway, I'll leave all you guys to it. I'll leave you some fine words from this guy. The guy at the beginning is a guy called Sadhguru. He's an Indian mystic, Indian yogi. Unbelievable guy. The guy's insight is just incredible. He's another guy you should look at, just for, not for homework, just for pleasure, really. He's a top guy. He'll get you thinking straight, get you thinking right, and really open your mind. He did with me. Him and Jordan Peterson. Without them, I wouldn't be making this video, and I won't still be trying to get my book published or writing. They started me again. I want to thank you too, even though I don't know you. You helped me out a lot. Anyone who's having troubles in their life, problems in their life, those two people just listen to the way they talk. Yeah, Jordan Peterson more his maps and meaning lectures, university lectures. Just listen to them. And Sadhguru, just listen to anything he says. The guy's hilarious, but very profound. Anyway, thanks a lot. Okay, me and Will say bye bye, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. All right, see you later. Bye.